Hey guys, Alan here with Parrots&Co. I have my Senegal parrot with me, Elfie Welfie, and in today's video I want to talk about getting the most out of your parrot training session. So if you feel like you're struggling to make progress with your parrot, whether that's on stepping up, reducing biting, or anything you're working on specifically, and you feel like you're not making the progress that you want, or maybe the progress is just kind of going a little bit slow, it's as much to do with the technique and exactly the ins and outs of the parrot training session itself, but also the quality and the overall strategy that you're implementing. So I want to give you guys a couple tips on getting the most out of your parrot training session. So first things first, we have to talk about desire. Now, with my parrot training, I have a concept called bird, bridge, intrinsic, reinforcement, and desire. And each one of these pillars ties into developing a well-behaved parrot that you can train, and it's going to really determine how fast or how slow you make progress with your parrot, if not at all, right? So with the desire component, what we're really thinking about is how can I get my parrot to want to work for treats? If a parrot doesn't want to work for treats, then you're really at a standstill with your parrot training, because if there's no progress and there's no desire or motivation to want to work for treats, it's gonna be really hard to motivate your parrot to do anything, right? It's like somebody offers you Ben and Jerry's ice cream, you have Ben and Jerry's in the fridge, they say if you go mow the lawn, I'll give you Ben and Jerry's. Meh, probably not, right? So the pillars that go into the desire component, the first thing that I would really take a look at is treat value, or the quality of treats that you're using. So what are the top three treats that your parrot likes? Are you using those during training sessions? Are you motivating your parrot to want to work for its favorite treat? If it really likes pine nuts and you're using a grape, maybe it's not going to be as motivated to want to work toward that behavior you guys are working on, right? Then from there, we have things like weight, feeding schedule, and timing. Now with weight, if your parrot is overfed, constant access to food, high probability it's not going to be very excited to want to train. Then we have timing, right? When specifically are you having your training sessions? Are you having them right after your parrot ate, or too soon before your parrot's next feeding, right? So the timing is also going to be important with your parrot to have quality training sessions. Then we have the feeding schedule itself. Now, like I mentioned before, if your parrot has unlimited access to food, high probability that it's not going to want to work for treats. So having scheduled feedings for your parrot is also going to be important. So giving that specific timing when you feed it really maximizes the amount of control around its feeding schedule that you have. Now, this doesn't mean starving your bird, right? This means you're getting all the nutrients that you would have got throughout the day, but we're just timing when we give them to you so that we know that when that training session time comes around, we're giving you the proper schedule to where there's a higher probability you're going to be motivated to want to work for treats, right? Then the other important component for a training session, you essentially want to make your training sessions specific and timely. So what I mean by that is the duration of the training session itself. You want to make sure that you don't overwork your bird mentally. I mean, I feel for the most part birds have a specific attention span, kind of like humans, right? On the internet, we have the attention span of a goldfish, like 8 seconds, and then we scroll to the next thing. But anyway, parrots are the same way. They usually work in windows of about 3 to 7 minutes, depending on the parrot and depending on how experienced and conditioned your parrot's going to be and what you're doing specifically. But anyway, this duration is important because if you go over that duration period, what can end up happening is your parrot decides, I'm not really interested in training anymore. So I've done this with Elfie where I've done too much indoor recall, and toward the last ones I probably should have ended a little while earlier, and then Elfie's like, fluff mode, I don't know if I want to fly. I don't know if I want to fly, parrot man. I'm pretty full, I had all my treats, I'm hanging out, So timing is going to be important. Give it a specific window. Try not to overdo it. If you're a newer parrot owner and you want to work with your bird, do it in little increments, right? Don't just try to force it all at once or make it too long, then you risk your parrot ending it on his terms. Then it comes down to the quality itself, right? Then it comes down to the etiquette or technique you're using in your training. Usually that's going to be with a clicker and target stick. if you're not clicking properly, you're not clicking at the right time, you're not targeting properly, these things can also affect the progress you make with your parrot. And if you don't do it right, you risk frustrating your bird. You frustrate your bird, the bird's not happy. It says, man, this is too confusing, this is too much work for me. I'm just gonna shut down and wait till I get some food because I don't wanna do this training with you because you're frustrating me, right? So making sure that you have the proper technique is also gonna be important. Last but not least, the secret weapon. You always wanna make sure that you end your training session on a positive note. What do I mean by this? The positive note essentially meaning that your parrot is willing and wanting to work for more treats by the time you end the session, not your parrot ending it, or you maybe have an indoor flight recall with your parrot, it gets spooked by something and then it has a crash landing. You wouldn't want to end the session there, because if you end the session there, the parrot's gonna remember, the last time I did this, parrot man or woman caused me to do this, even if it wasn't your fault. That's sometimes how they associate it. And I didn't like how I felt after that. So I'm not gonna do it when they ask me to do it again. So always end on a positive note, even if you have mistakes, which are gonna happen no matter what. End on a positive note. Small trick, small reward, small ask before we transition into ending the training session, right? So anyway, just some quick tips on maximizing the quality of your parrot training sessions. And if there's anything specific that you are working on with your parrot, whether that's reducing unwanted behaviors like screaming, biting, or you're working toward indoor recall, harness training, any specific tricks, feel free to check out the free training that I have in the description below. So this is a video that I put together on that kind of step-by-step process and the technique that I've used to train Elfie throughout the years. I'm basically sharing that with you. Why? Because the goal is to have more educated owners and, you know, less rehome parrots throughout the next 5 years. 1% of rehome parrots reduced. That means less rehome parrots, and it starts with the owners being educated, but also giving you that opportunity to really work toward the desired goals that you have as a new or beginner parrot owner, whether that's reducing aggression, reducing the screaming, or any unwanted behaviors, and just working toward having a well-trained, you know, family companion that can build a bond with you so that you have that interaction and that lifetime bond using essentially my Parrot Accelerator method. But yeah, check that out in the description below. And Elfie and I are signing out. We will see you guys next time.